They're wrapped up in a little plastic bag. And you just take 2 of them and plop them out into the little petri dish and leave them out for about an hour to thaw. This is Stevie. He'll be your guide. Alright, so first thing, to open Sammy's cage, you have to lift up on the 2 security latches and then pull back the screen. The screen slides in slots, just kind of like a window, and then it comes completely off. And then Sammy usually likes to hide under his little cave, so you usually will have to move that and then just scoop him up. He doesn't bite, he's tame. And then there's a special box, a shoe box that we use for feeding him, and you place him in the shoe box just on top of the newspaper.
This does not usually happen.
What did he do?
He curled his tail onto there.
He likes to crawl under the newspaper, so sometimes before you feed him, you'll have to kind of pull him out on top of the newspaper so that he'll be able to see the mice. Alright, so here we are. We've got the 2 mice that are thawed. And Stevie's going to expose Sammy there. And basically with the tweezers, you just grab one of the mice and sort of hold it in front of him. Sometimes you can kind of rub his nose with it a little bit, or drop it down next to him. He's pretty easy to work with. He'll just eventually he'll just latch onto it.
This does not usually happen either.
There he goes. Okay, so, and once he's latched onto the mouse, he pretty much does his own thing. And typically, while he's actually in the process of eating, he won't try to get out of the box. So usually you can leave the lid off and just kind of watch him.
And sometimes you'll notice a lot of holes in this newspaper, because sometimes, since he'll sometimes be under, you can put down this thing to kind of hold it in place. While he's eating, I'm gonna go get a glass of water.
Okay.
See what it looks like.
Alright, so once he's eaten the first one, he'll kind of start moving around like he's looking for another one. So at that point, it's okay to give him the second mouse.
Probably the only snake feeding video with a classical piano soundtrack.
And also, after handling Sammy, for example, after you put him back into his cage after feeding him, you should always wash your hands with soap. Because it's possible that some reptiles contain salmonella, but we need to. He's probably fine, but I think. Well, this is just what the person told me. But you need to wash your hands with soap after handling him, and also at this point, you should just let him stay in the cage for a couple minutes.
The box.
In the box for a couple minutes.
He likes to be under the paper.
You can just close this down because he needs a couple minutes to digest, and during that time, it's probably best that he isn't handled. So we'll just let him sit in the cage for a minute, and then for him to digest, and then we'll put him back into the cage.
You can refill his water bowl or clean his cage if he needs it.
So yeah.
Yeah, so at this point, while he's waiting in the feeding box, is a good time to refill his water bowl or do any maintenance on the cage that needs to be done.
And okay. So very beginning, you take his water bowl out and you place it. I'll just put it down here so I can get a better grip on it. And then you take it to the bathroom. So that's what we're gonna go do. Try to let it spill as little as possible. And then you go get the little blue bottle of Reptile Safe. It's a chemical that neutralizes all chemicals that we put in water. For example, like all those for us, because they can be dangerous to snakes. And it'll neutralize it into normal water. So the first thing you want to do, just pour it all out. And then you just want to rinse it around a little bit and clean it out. And then, so, that's probably good. And then after that, you get the water cold, and then you fill it to 8 ounces of cold water. And then you push this little tab thing up, and you slowly put 2 drops of this into the water, and then you close it up so it doesn't dry out. Then you stir it around a little bit with your finger, and then you just pour it in. And then since that doesn't fill it up completely, you probably want to do it once more. Fill it up to 8 ounces. And then 2 drops. And then you have a clean water bowl. Wait, hold on. Okay, so after it's all full, you take it back to the cage. And carefully place it back in where it was. You want to try not to spill any water. And it's hard to get all of the bark out from under it. And sometimes when it's available, Sammy will like to crawl under there. And don't be worried, it's not squishing him, he just kind of likes to be under a rock. So if you can't find him, don't worry and look under there, because that's probably where he is if you can't find him anywhere else. So yeah, and that's all I need to know.